This one's called
Okay, so this is the continuation of digital composite of your original work. Cool. So I have to go over to the screen. Sorry. Got too many tabs open here. You're logged in classing. Sorry, I'm logging back in to get into my ClassLink Windows app. Okay. And this is, I saved this. This is where I left off. So I've got these 3 images here. So these are the visibility, these little eyes here. You turn them on and off, and you can isolate each piece, right? So say I want to make this my background, right? So I got my move tool here. I can go like this. If I go to edit, transform, I can say I want to rotate it or something. I'm not going to rotate it. I'm going to scale it. Cool. If I hold down the shift key, I can scale this up. Cool. Maybe I am going to rotate it. I'm going to rotate clockwise like this. Maybe I'm going to turn my whole, I'm still in the scaling, so I'm going to hold down my shift key and I can go like this. If I don't hold down my shift key, I can stretch it. Cool. So I could try doing something like this.
No, I can't go to sleep.
All right, so this could be like my original piece. It looks like it's all out of focus because it's, I have to apply the application. So in this old version, I'm just going to click on this tool and this will pop up here, apply. In newer Photoshop, you can just right click and it'll be there. And maybe I'll actually, I'm going to turn my canvas,
I was already awake.
my canvas size. I'm going to rotate the canvas. Cool, because I want to have my whole canvas turned the other way. And oops, to the other way, 180. Okay, so say I do something like that, and then I'm going to turn that off for a second, and then I go over to my image that's going to be my drawing, and I can rotate this if I want, rotate that, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just select the marks. Okay, so I'm going to go to select. What I need to do is make sure that all the other layers or visibilities are off, so it only selects from here. And I go color range. And if I go in and say, find me the shadow areas, okay, and you should be able to select the range here. Let's see. All right, I'm just going to try this. I don't know why it doesn't allow me to actually select the range of it. Select preview. Selection. Okay, so this is showing me this is the image that I'm looking at, and this is what it finds for the darks. And oh, here we go. This is the fuzziness here. Yeah, I can. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Okay, so it selects that. See how I've got the running dots, and I'm just going to go copy, paste. Okay. Sorry, over there it just sort of. I think that's a zoom thing. It just puts it in here, but I don't know if you can see that. So there's just the images there, right? And since I'm in this old Photoshop, I'm going to have to do this in pieces. I'm going to try this again. I went back to the original drawing, and instead of doing the shadows, I'll do the midtones now. Okay, and see how it's going to grab that stuff. So it's grabbing, this is the shadows and the midtones. I'm not going to get the highlights. So again, copy, paste. And I'm showing you this. You might not have to do this with whatever you're selecting, but you'll see now I've got, that's what it selected for the midtones. This is what it's selected for these. If I want to combine these two, cool, which I might like, I can just, I held down my shift key and selected both of these. If I lock them together, right? I don't know why this thing's in the way. See how they're locked together here? Okay, and now if I go layer, merge layers, which is Control E, there'll be one layer, okay? And so now when I turn this on, if I move this layer on top of this one, cool, can you see how this will sit on top of there, right? Which is kind of interesting, right? So just this right here is kind of cool. Like this is, I have this abstract piece here, right? That's, I don't know how that got like shrunk like that, but here's my little drawing. So I've taken 2 of my own artworks and I'm starting to combine them to make something, right? And I could play with variations on this. I also could say, well, what happens when I put it on top of something like this, right? And that just makes a simple little composition. So in my 2D art classes, we're doing these as little watercolor nugget transfers. And I can go back and say, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done the midtones. Maybe I want to do, I'm gonna go back to this. I can play with the size of it too, but I can go in here and, sorry, go to select color range again and try, maybe I'll get it just with the darks, right? And I go copy, paste, cool. Turn these guys off, put this on top of that, right? And there it is. Maybe I like it a little more just with the darks, okay? Each one of these layers, you can go in here and try any of these transformations, right? So if I wanted to warp it, I could pull it. I mean, I don't know why I'd want to do that, but depending on what your drawing is, right? You could try any of these. You can skewing them, rotating them, distorting them, which just sort of pulls them in different directions. Cool. All of these edit transformations you have to apply, okay? Oh, and you can also flip them if you want it facing the other way. Cool. And then you say don't apply or apply. I'm gonna say don't apply right now. Cool. So you could mess around with this. I'll make another video showing other things where you could do things like, I'll show you real quick, make a layer. This is a color wash. I'm just calling it a color wash. It's not really gonna be that. This is its own blank layer over here. I can take my paint bucket, I can pick a color, right? So I can go in here, say I want to pick a color from here, right? Or maybe I want to pick something, you know, different, okay? And I can take my paint bucket and just dumps a solid color here, okay? But each of these layers, this layer here can be translucent, right? So I could do something like that. And then this is its own layer on top of it, right? I could erase away part of this. I could take an eraser, or I can cut certain pieces, but I can take my paintbrush and like, oh no, it's not letting me do it. I'll show you the rest of that later in another video because I have to get going. But the other thing that you could do is really quick make multiples of stuff. So if I make a copy, I'll just take my move tool. I dragged it down here. This is a garbage can, I would throw it away. This one next to it makes a copy of it, and it's just sitting on top of it. Okay, and you can see how quick and easy it is to make multiples of something. And then I could take my, whoops. There we go. Sorry about that. And then I could take, go to my background layer and transform the scale of my background layer if I wanted to stretch it, right? Can you see I could use that same thing? Cool, or I can make multiples of it or whatever. I'll apply that. All right, so that's just how you can like have one of your original drawings and play around. There's infinite possibilities, all right? So when you're done, or if you want to keep working on it, you can either, so you can save as, there's my timer, save as a Photoshop, and just save it on the desktop. It'll be in this Windows app, so you can go back to it and keep working on it. So if you want to keep working on it, you can save as a Windows app. Cool. Launchpad, or do you want to replace it? Yes. And then if you're done with this, right, you might even want to crop it. You can take like the crop tool here and crop it down to what you want. You know, so say this is my final piece here. I'm gonna go like this, okay, crop. Okay, and then you'd go file, so say this is your final piece. You go JPEG, so that you're saving it as a JPEG, save it onto the desktop, call it what you want, right? So 3 yellow, we'll call it 3 yellow. Okay, and then you always want your JPEG options. You want this to be between 8 and 12, and this to be between 2 and 3 megabytes, ideally. A little over 3 is fine. So this would be fine. I'm actually going to go, because I want a maximum. So 3.5 is good. Cool. And now, so now I have a JPEG on there. There's another video about how you can get them back up into your Google Drive, but it's pretty easy. Okay. So now I can just say, no, don't save that. So when I close out of Photoshop here, cool. Now you can see there's my JPEG that I made, and I also have my digital composite that I can keep working on later. Okay, so I did this with a drawing. You could do it with photographs or whatever. All right. Sorry for the long video.